I'd like to call the Tuesday, January 19th, 2016 Papillion City Council meeting to order. Ms. Rogers, would you please take the roll?
Mumgard. Here. Florence. Gaines. Here. Glover. Here. Jaworski. Here. Klug. Here. Stubbe. Here. Ingberg.
Get the privilege of having Cub Scout Pack 261 with us. They're going to help lead the pledge. You guys want to come up? Thanks, guys. Do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
That is correct.
And a current copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of the council chambers. We have a presentation tonight. Some big thanks to give. Everybody knows we do a lot for quality of life, and a lot of that's through the Recreation Department, Sumter Amphitheater, and the race series. I think it was a couple of meetings ago we recognized some of the participants who have really been involved and won a lot of things. But what we want to recognize tonight are the sponsors that make it happen. We've got a lot of great local Papillion businesses that step up as sponsors and give both financial and in-kind support and actually volunteer their time. And without these sponsors, we would not be able to do these events. So hopefully we get that message across to the participants so they support the businesses, but tonight's about honoring the businesses. Again, we have a lot of them, and with the weather the way it is, a number of them didn't show up, understandably, but we still do want to mention them. We've got a lot that's the ones that live locally, because the streets are so good, thanks to Marty and his Public Works crew. Let's want to start with the race series. And again, a reminder, 6 races were hosted in 2015, the half marathon, the 10K, the community fun walk, Papillion Days Duathlon, the Twilight Criterium, the triathlon. There was the kids triathlon for the first time, the 5K and the 10K. That was more than 5 events, but 6 events, but they're grouped in a way that it turns out 6. Health and wellness is a big thing, and we had over 10,000 race participants, volunteers and spectators in that series, and it holds pretty true year to year of the participants. About a third of those are Papillion residents, so races for Papillion by Papillion. About a third of them are people from within the state of Nebraska, so the metro area and broader, but about a third of those are from outside the state that come to those races, and we talk to a lot of those people, and they come here for these events. So when they're here, they're staying in the hotel, they're eating in the restaurants. So these have a real economic development impact. Then at Sumter, in the race series, Tim Moran from Lori's department is the one that heads most of that up. At Sumter, Doug Huggins manages. Because of the sponsorships, there are a lot of events that are done throughout the year, but because of the sponsorships, the things that are done free for the community, 8 movies under the stars, and we're probably getting, about 1,200 to 1,500 people a night for those movies. That might be on the low side. To the movies coming out and seeing those free to the community. The Swingin' in Sumter concert series, that's 4 concerts that are free to the community, and most of those bands have regional notoriety. So again, people coming down to Sumter, a lot of those people have probably never crossed Harrison and been to Sarpy County, let alone Papillion, and so they're experiencing Papillion because of Sumter. And I know of people who now are making home buying choices because now they've experienced what's down here. So again, real economic impact with that. There are, on Sundays, 10 free concerts for an unplugged concert series. There's been 8 free concerts specifically for the seniors. And then for the young folks, there have been 7 young musicians who have put on a performance in the evenings. Again, more than 10,000 patrons in the free sponsored events at Sumter Amphitheater in 2015. And that's by Doug. And then the farmers market, you've done a wonderful job turning that around the last couple of years. 5,000 people we estimated attended the farmers market in 2015 right down in City Park. 60 vendors, 3 free community events, and then weekly music in the park as well. And then besides that, Tammy also was the brains behind getting Slide the City. That's a different discussion, but she's driving traffic downtown. The sponsors collectively donated $35,000 in cash and probably $17,500 in products and in-kind services, for a total of $52,500 in cash and donations from the sponsors. And again, that's what makes these things free. For the race series, the Farmers Market and Sumter Amphitheater, is Mackenzie here?
I don't think so, and go ahead and not mention their names, and if it's somebody else from the organization that comes.
Tobacco Free Sarpy was a sponsor for the race series, the Farmers Market, and Sumter Amphitheater, so we want to thank them. Sumter Amphitheater and the Farmers Market sponsors, Papillion Times, Sean, I don't think I saw him, and Sam's Club. Ah. So the Papillion Times, and then is Jeremy with Sam's Club. So again, want to thank them. The race series and Sumter Amphitheater sponsor, Shimmer and Associates. Matt? Thank you. The race series, number of them. TD2, I think Doug was here. Edge Physical Therapy, Mike and Beth Bartles. Great community supporters. Shadow Lake Hy-Vee, Dan Fuller. Dunkin' Donuts, Jeff Albertson. Donuts and Wellness. Coca-Cola, Richard Flagg. Iowa, Michael Kane. Makovica Physical Therapy. Lerner Company, I don't think I saw Jay. Shadow Lake GNC, Nathan. KB's Food Shop, Anil. Progress Physical Therapy. Performance Chiropractic. Bellino Enterprises, Vince. Thank you. Silverstone, Dan Myers. Spin Pizza, Bryce. And Allie Pointer and Associates, Jay Palou. Again, those were for race series sponsors. Sumter Amphitheater sponsors, Black Hills Energy. Guys are CHI Health, Market Point Walmart. Pinnacle Bank, Brad's here. American National Bank. Thanks, Kevin. Anytime Fitness, Bill or Tabitha. Urgent Care of Papillion, Denise. Papillion Junior Women's Club. And DeFord Family Dentistry, Kathy DeFord. Those were all Sumter Amphitheater sponsors. Farmer Market sponsors, Dingman's Collision Center. Essentials Family Chiropractic and Wellness. Again, we really want to thank you all for the sponsorships, the awards, and the recognition that Papillion gets. A lot of that, even at the national level, is talking about quality of life and economic development. That's directly what you guys are impacting, so thank you very much. And you're welcome to hang around for the meeting, but don't feel obligated to. Everybody gets up and leaves. Again, a very huge thank you, and we hope that it turns back to you guys in customers. Mr. Hoynes, Administrator's Report, please.
I really am starting to get a complex how people leave every time I click the mic on, but at least some of the people have to stay here. Mr. Mayor and Council, begin my report this evening by pointing out, if you're not aware, on the next Planning Commission meeting, January 27th, Marty Lemming will be presenting the 1 and 6 year road plan, and while that plan seems somewhat procedural, it is very important, and there are a couple of things this year I wanted to point out to you. Excuse me, that on that plan that will be going up on January 27th to the Planning Commission. It'll come back to you for final ratification and approval February 16th. Probably the most substantive change in that is the enhancement of the Schramm Road project, 84th to 90th, being moved up 3 years thanks to the action of this particular body. And so that'll be formalized at that particular event. Also, for next year, you'll note that there's a $1.2 million projected road improvement on Lincoln Road from Washington Street or 84th all the way to 96th Street, anticipating in the event the bond is successful in May, that would be part of the infrastructure improvements to accommodate that particular project. That's moved up on to next year so that we'd be able to coordinate that. A couple of other things. We will be doing some entry-level police and fire testing here this spring. So if you know of any young people looking for good careers, either Chief Lyons or Chief Jones, do you have a time frame for that yet? Or
we believe that we're going to be going out getting applications beginning on February 2nd, and we're going to run those to the middle of March. The test is March 23rd.
Okay, Chief Jones, do you have a time frame?
Ours is real similar. We'll be taking applications in March to hire later in the year.
Right, and again, we don't have as many openings as we did in the last couple of years, but those lists can be good for up to 2 years. So again, if you're aware of anybody's looking for great career opportunities and a little bit of a promo on television here, go onto our website. The Civil Service Commission just approved those testing processes here a couple of weeks ago. I conclude my report, Mr. Mayor and Council, by providing some recognition to the city staff, in particular 26. There were 26 employees that were involved in the presidential visit last week. As most of you know, you don't get a lot of lead time on those things. I talked to Chief Lyons on Saturday, and the event was on Wednesday. And while the police certainly get a lot of recognition and deserve a lot of recognition, they had about half of those Papillion staff members, about 13 officers that were assigned to that detail working with Secret Service. There were also an additional group of 13 of street workers, public works, and parks and rec people too that assisted. So like oftentimes happens in the city of Papillion, it's never one department that makes those things possible. So I wanted to just publicly recognize those folks on that visit. That concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilwoman Klug. Do you have any, Mr. Mumgard?
Yes, I'd like to take item C5 off the consent agenda.
C5 is pulled. Mr. Gaines?
I'd like to pull item C6.
6 is pulled. Any others? Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Do we have any council discussion? Please vote on everything except C5 and C6.
Six yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item C5. Resolution R160014, a resolution to approve the installation of no parking signs on North Monroe Street and on Olson Drive. Do we have a motion to approve Resolution R160014? Motion by Councilman Stube, second by Councilman Jaworski. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Council discussion. Mr. Mumgard.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to have a little bit of an explanation of the Olson Drive situation. As I recall, that when Shadow Lake was constructed, we decided to put no parking along both sides of Olson Drive, but specifically decided to leave this stretch open for parking. And I know that there are at least one, maybe two vehicles that belong to the businesses there and are parked along that street regularly. So what is it that has changed here, and what's happening along Olson Drive that would require us to make this no parking and take that parking away from those businesses?
Mr. Lemon?
Well, we've seen an increase in traffic up there with the businesses that are filling in Midlands Place. We've kind of discussed some issues with the one business that parks a truck and a trailer along there. They've been parking them on Grandview Avenue now because we're just having some conflicts with traffic in that one stretch where we do allow that parking. So,
Well, I'm particularly interested in the business that has the truck and the trailer there. What was their reaction?
they didn't seem to have a problem. They've been parking those along Grandview, and it seems to work out better for all because of just the increase in the traffic along there, Tom.
Okay, thank you.
Any other council discussion? Please vote.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item C6, Resolution R160015. A resolution to approve a purchase order from Cornhusker International Trucks, Inc. and financing proposal with Community Leasing Partners for the lease purchase of 3 dump trucks for the Public Works Department. Do we have a motion to approve Resolution R160015? Motion by Councilman Ingberg, second by Councilwoman Klug. Do we have any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Mr. Gaines.
I just had a quick question. I remember the last time that we made a purchase of dump trucks, there was another council member that brought up the frequency in which we purchase these. Is there some sort of schedule that we plan on purchasing these, or do we have a schedule going forward, or is this, I see that 2 of them are replacements and 1 is an additional truck to take over the new area, but do we have a plan when these trucks are phased out?
Mr. Lemmy?
Yes, Councilman Gaines, we have a vehicle equipment rotation plan, and we try to, these are like on a 15-year cycle, and they've, as you can see, one's a 93 and a 94. We try to fit them within the budget. Some years they don't fit within, and equipment seems to be one that kind of gets kicked back. Okay. So we've worked with the finance department and trying to get these things back on schedule. We've gone to this lease purchase to where we can fill that gap.
Okay, is that a normal cycle for this type of equipment, 15 years-ish, or?
Well, these 2 pieces of equipment are pretty well rusted. Hopefully we can stretch them now that we've got our new facility and we have a wash bay. That previously we were pretty much washing things outside in the dead of winter and trying to get that salt and chemical off, which is pretty tough. So we're hoping to be able to extend the life of these things and get more years out of them.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We both have the wash bay, and there's more indoor storage now as well with the new facility, so both of them should extend life. Mr. Mumgard.
Okay, with the snow that we've had lately, I guess snow removal's on many people's minds, and I'm trying to fit these trucks into that picture, and I understand that one of the trucks is primarily for the additional street miles we'll have out at the Prairie Queen area. But is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, but I suspect that's not the exclusive use of that truck.
No, that won't be the exclusive use.
Okay, and then the other 2 trucks are going to replace trucks that are just wearing out. Okay, are those trucks that are wearing out, are they currently being used for snow removal?
Yes, they are. We're piecing them along. We're hoping that they make it through this season.
Okay, well, I know the numbers are pretty small when you're only buying 3.
Yeah.
But does this mean that we will now have more trucks available for snow removal than we currently do now?
Yep.
Okay, after we make this purchase.
We'll have 1 additional truck after we make this purchase. These trucks take 6 to 8 months to build. So by the time we get them, we'll be in the next snow season, and we'll pick up the additional 13 lane miles that we picked up with the Prairie Queen annexation. Right now, Sarpy County is still maintaining those roads this year for us.
Okay, well, the 2 trucks that are wearing out,
Yeah.
and are being replaced, will they still be available next year for snow removal?
No, we're going to get rid of them. Them trucks,
So it's a
they're
net.
just costing us money by keeping them. So they will be sold on an auction, kind of like
So we're looking at a net of one
one
truck?
new truck, yes.
Okay, thank
One
you.
additional one, yes.
Mr. Glover.
Yeah, my question was gonna be, what do we do with the old trucks?
We sell them through auction. You'll see next meeting in February that we've got a bunch of equipment from the golf course and from the Parks Department. We've got some pickups that we replaced last year that we're gonna be coming up and asking your permission to auction those off. So once these trucks are replaced, next fall, we'll be coming back and asking to auction them off.
Any other council discussion? Please vote.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. We have nothing for first or second reading, so third reading, item F1. Resolution R160012, a resolution to approve a special designated liquor license for the Knights of Columbus Council number 6429 on February 5th, 2016 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at St. Columbic Church. Do we have a motion to approve resolution R160012? Motion by Councilman Glover, second by Councilman Jaworski. Do we have any proponents? Is the applicant here? Okay. Do we have any other proponents? Do we have any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next is item F2, Resolution R160013, a resolution to approve a special designated liquor license for La Voltaire Restaurant on February 13th and February 14th from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. each day at La Petite Paris French Bakery, 120 Olson Drive. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R160013? Motion by Councilman Klug. Second by Councilman Stubbe. Do we have any proponents? And I'm going to assume the applicant is not here because of the weather. I know that. He's here. Oh, he's here. All right. Do we have any other proponents? Do we have any opponents? Council discussion, Mr. Mumgard.
Okay, could the applicant come up for a second? This is commercial time.
And if you'd state your name for the record.
Kyle Shoemaker.
Are you from Le Voltaire or Le Petite?
They're one and the same, but La Petite Paris French
Okay.
Bakery.
Tell us what you're going to do for your Valentine's Day dinner.
We're offering a 3-course dinner, and that'll be paired with white wine, red wine, or a bottle of champagne.
What's the price of one of those things?
It's $50 a couple.
What are we eating?
There's your choice of entree, appetizer, and then one dessert.
Which of the council members will I see there? Sure, Bob. Sounds like a good thing. Yeah, that's quite a business that Le Petite's put in there. So I'm really eager to see something happening there. I hope it's a big success for you.
Yes, thank you.
It is a wonderful place. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other council discussion? Please vote.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is committee reports, and I don't believe any committees did meet in the last couple of weeks. Do we have any comments from the floor? Looks like we got some students here. You guys got to come up and tell us who you are and what you're here for. Come on up to the podium. Introduce yourself and what you're here for.
Hello, I'm Alexis Paulson. I'm here along with them with our honors government class for Papillion South High School, and we're required to come to 2 public meetings and take notes and write a report about it.
Thanks.
My name's Cole Kraft, and so. My name's Matt Hunt, and same reason.
He's got a question.
I got a question. Is this the beginning of the semester for your classes?
Yeah.
Well, I want to commend the 3 of you for coming to the meeting early in the semester, as opposed to the dozen that will show up in the last 2 meetings we have next spring. So thank you very much for showing that such eagerness to come to our meeting tonight.
Is this Keller's class?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Tell him you get extra credit for coming early.
All right.
Do we have any other comments from the floor? Any council comments? Ms. Klug.
Thank you. You know, our schools are pretty phenomenal and amazing, and I just wanted to let everybody know that on Saturday, February 6th, Papillion La Vista South is going to be hosting an indoor Winter Guard International competition. So there'll be drum lines there will be flag corps there, and I know for sure the Papillion La Vista South band is going to be doing indoor marching on the basketball courts. So it's pretty phenomenal if you like some great entertainment. It's going to have the first team on the floor at 4 p.m. It's going to last until at least 8 a.m., and it's going to be pretty non-stop competition because there's only two 15-minute breaks with about 2 minutes between each group. So if you happen to be free on the 6th, 4 p.m., I highly recommend it for some great entertainment.
Thanks. Mr. Mumgard.
I just want to put in a plug for the Lions Club spaghetti dinner at the high school, I believe this coming Sunday, the 24th. And I know I have my tickets. Everybody else in the room has already bought theirs, I'm sure, or they'll run out quickly and buy them. So we'll see you all at the Lions Club spaghetti dinner.
And it's at the Monarch School, or the Glover School.
It's the one that's in Ward 4. How's that?
That's correct. Any other council comments? I think the only things the last couple of weeks, Mayor Kindig and myself presented a joint proclamation at Papillion South to the Papillion players from the UNL National Championship volleyball team. So that was a nice event. And then met tonight with Cub Scout 261. The only other thing is legislature is in session. Hearings are going on now, so if there's bills that you're interested in, make sure Mr. Hoynes is aware of those, because we got a mechanism in place to be monitoring what's going on, and if we need to be down there testifying, we've got that ability to do that. So if there's a bill you care about, make sure you're letting Mr. Hoynes know what that is, and we can keep you updated with that. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman Glover, second by Councilman Gaines. Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
We are adjourned.